Good evening. Motorists in two of the region's major cities have received more fines for driving in bus lanes than almost anywhere else in the country. A BBC investigation has found that drivers in Birmingham and Wolverhampton are among the top 5 to fall foul of the spy cameras. Birmingham issued nearly 55,000 fines in the year 2015-16, with 21,000 of those on one road alone. Income from all those fines was almost £1.7 million. In the corresponding period in Wolverhampton, over 57,500 fines were handed out, with 25,000 in one area. Gross income was £1.4 million. Local authorities have denied claims by one motoring organisation that they're effectively overseeing a cash bonanza. Bob Hockenhull reports.
£3 million. That's how much Birmingham and Wolverhampton councils made between them from bus lane fines in 1 year. It's a figure that horrifies taxi driver Gary Aldridge. He received a demand for £30 after driving into a bus lane in Penderford in Wolverhampton. He says there wasn't adequate signs, but because he's not paid, the fine has risen to over £400.
I just refuse to pay it. I just think it's a cash cow, basically, money-making machine.
This bus lane in Wolverhampton's Victoria Square made more money through fines than any bus lane in England, bar one in Newcastle. Birmingham was number 5 in the fines league table. It didn't take long for our cameras to spot cars travelling down this lane. Nearly half of the 55,000 fines issued by Birmingham City Council in 1 year were incurred by motorists driving down this bus lane at St Martin's Queensway next to the Bullring shopping centre. Motorists we spoke to said they felt it was too easy to make a mistake.
If I came up this way with my car, I wouldn't have thought this was a bus only area. So I don't think there's enough warning at all. So.
The signs are very clear. They're making a lot of money out of it, aren't they, when you think about it?
Birmingham City Council insists the signs are adequate. It says the money raised pays for improvements on the road network, and labelling bus lanes as lucrative is wrong. Is this fining people for going in bus lanes simply a cash cow for the council?
That's not what bus lanes are for at all. Bus lanes are there to maximise the capacity of our roads. If people break the law and get in the way of that, then they'd expect the full force to come down on them like it would if they were driving and texting at the same time.
Some drivers have successfully appealed against fines after taking councils to a tribunal. But campaigners say such motorists are in the minority and they'll continue to fight against the bus lanes. Bob Hockenhull, BBC Midlands Today.
Earlier I spoke to Simon Williams of the RAC, who joined us from our studios in Bristol. What did he make of these figures concerning bus lanes?
Something must be investigated here because it's just too large a number for it to be motorists deliberately flouting the bus lane regulations. Yeah,
to be fair, Birmingham City Council say they think the signage is perfectly adequate.
Well, I suppose they would, wouldn't they? It's in their interest. They're obviously making a lot of money. They perhaps are too busy counting the money as opposed to trying to work out what's wrong.
So what's the answer then? Because bus lanes presumably do a good job, don't they?
Bus lanes are there for a reason, obviously, and motorists shouldn't drive in them because they're there to make sure that buses run on time and they've got a clear run at the traffic. But interestingly, in Liverpool, they had a trial where they did away with 26 of their bus lanes, and after a while, they only reinstated 4, and they actually found the traffic moved perfectly well and the buses still managed to run on time. It's the latest kind of cash bonanza, if you like. We've got parking charges, which council seems to do very well out of, and now bus lanes. Bus lanes shouldn't be about raising money. They should be about making sure people don't drive in them. But perhaps we need to look at where the cameras are positioned. Sometimes the cameras may be positioned at the very start of the bus lane, so if you make an honest mistake, it's too late by the time you realise it and correct yourself.
Yeah, the councils are obviously making an enormous amount of money from these bus lane fines, but in their defence, they do say that that money is ploughed back into transportation of one sort or another.
It's good to hear that, but the research the RAC carries out for its annual report on motoring says the state of the roads are some of the worst condition we've seen. Motorists are constantly fed up with pothole-ridden roads, and we're constantly having to be faced with reporting them or just watching them get worse.
Simon Williams, thank you. And we'll bring you some of the many comments we've received on this subject later in the programme. Anorexia